Cumple tus objetivos con el inglés. Un año de inglés con el apoyo de los mejores tutores online. Apúntate en cursodeinglesonline.tve.com y por menos de €1 al día. Cumple tus objetivos con el inglés. Un año de inglés con el apoyo de los mejores tutores online. Apúntate en cursodeinglesonline.tve.com y por menos de €1 al día.
Hello, my friend Marvin. He prefers driving to traveling by plane. He prefers driving to traveling by plane. También podemos usar el infinitivo. He prefers to drive than to fly by train. To fly by plane. No puedes volar en tren, I think. He prefers driving, pero cuando es en general mejor con el gerundio. He prefers driving to traveling by plane. He prefers driving to flying. También podemos decir flying. Superman, lo contrario. Superman prefers flying to driving, I believe, yeah. Superman doesn't need to buy a plane ticket to fly. He simply flies. So I think Superman prefers flying to driving. But my friend Marvin, he prefers driving to traveling by plane because Marvin doesn't know how to fly like Superman. All right? So he prefers driving to flying or to traveling by plane.
Hola y bienvenidos a la clase 116. En esta clase vamos a ver la frase He prefers driving to traveling by plane. Él prefiere conducir a viajar en avión. Y aquí nos centraremos en la primera parte de la clase He prefers driving. Fíjate que estoy usando el gerundio aquí. He prefers, con la tercera persona del singular, la S tan importante. He prefers driving. También se puede usar el infinitivo. He prefers to drive. Pero como aquí a continuación vamos a comparar dos cosas, usamos aquí el gerundio. He prefers driving to traveling. Suena mejor así. He prefers running to walking. Por ejemplo, más ejemplos. My mother prefers driving to walking. Mi madre prefiere viajar en coche o conducir a andar. My brother prefers flying helicopters to flying planes. Mi hermano prefiere conducir helicópteros a conducir aviones. Impresionante, ¿no? Entonces, what do you prefer? Do you prefer walking or running? I prefer walking.
Yo, 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 it's me, your favorite DJ, live for you. And look what I have here. My new album. Es un doble disco, a double disc. Se llama Prefiero mezclar. I prefer mixing and I prefer to mix. Es que los dos valen. I prefer mixing and I prefer to mix. Se puede decir, por ejemplo, I prefer to study. I prefer to work. Or I prefer studying and I prefer working. My favorite disc is this one. I prefer mixing. Yeah. Tiene éxitos como I prefer dancing, I prefer singing, I prefer writing songs. Y la canción romántica, I prefer loving you. Pues, ¿a qué esperas? Ya está a la venta, my double disc. I prefer mixing and I prefer to mix. I prefer listening to this one. Which one are you going to prefer listening to? Come on, buy it now. I prefer loving you. Such a good song. I prefer loving you.
Entonces, ya hemos visto he prefers driving, él prefiere conducir, y ahora vamos a ver la segunda parte de la frase. To traveling, él prefiere conducir a viajar. To traveling. También ese segundo verbo tiene que estar en la forma del gerundio. To traveling. No podemos decir he prefers driving to travel. No. He prefers driving to traveling. Vamos a ver más ejemplos. Do you prefer singing to dancing? ¿Prefieres cantar a bailar? I prefer singing to dancing. Yo prefiero cantar a bailar. She prefers traveling by boat to traveling by plane. Ella prefiere viajar en barco a viajar en avión. Y ahora vamos a ver la palabra del día, que es truck. Camión, truck. He prefers driving in a truck to driving in a car. Él prefiere viajar en un camión que conducir un coche. Truck, la palabra del día, no lo olvides. Muy bien.
Hi, it's Mr. Strong, and say hello to these. ¡Mua! ¡Mua! Ok, pues hoy os voy a dar unos consejos, some tips, some pointers. Eso es, para tener un cuerpo como el mío. Yeah, to have a nice body, un buen cuerpo. I'm going to give you some tips. Os voy a dar unos consejos. Okay, well primero, I prefer eating chicken to eating bread. Yeah, I prefer eating chicken to eating bread. Now, cuidado, porque cuando comparamos, tú puedes decir, I prefer to eat chicken. Pero si vamos a poner otra al final y poner una comparación, diríamos, I prefer eating chicken to eating bread. Y repetimos el verbo otra vez en el gerundio. I prefer eating chicken to eating bread. Okay, well, more things. I prefer drinking protein shakes to drinking soft drinks. Refrescos, yeah. Fewer calories, menos calorías. So I prefer drinking protein shakes to drinking soft drinks. And I prefer sleeping 12 hours to sleeping 4 hours.
Is it a bird? ¿Es un pájaro? Is it a plane? ¿Es un avión? Sí, tú ya sabes esa palabra. Plane, avión. Pero, ¿sabes la preposición que va siempre con los medios de transporte? En inglés decimos by y jamás in. In plane suena muy raro. I go by plane. By metro. By bike. By car. Te pongo a prueba. ¿Cómo decimos en helicóptero? Muy bien, by helicopter, con la H aspirada. Helicopter, by helicopter. ¿Cómo decimos, te acuerdas de la palabra del día? ¿Cómo decimos en camión? Muy bien, by truck. Y no podemos decir truck, es truck, by truck. Y en bici, muy bien, by bike. Y a pie. Perfecto, no has dicho by foot, ¿no? Decimos on foot. On es una excepción. On foot. By plane. By bike. By car. On foot. Entonces, vamos a ver la frase entera. He prefers driving. He prefers con la forma del gerundio. Driving to, otra vez, traveling, ing, by car. By plane en este caso. By plane. Avión. No lo olvides.
Oh, it's technology time. Yeah. I'm looking for flights. That's right. To York. I'm going to York. By plane. Well, yeah, you see, I prefer driving. I like to drive, but York is far, so I'm going to go by plane. I have to go by plane. That's right. We say to go by plane. To drive somewhere, or to fly somewhere, or to go by plane. Not in plane. Go by plane. It's too far to drive, so I'm going to go by plane. Let me see. Perfect. A perfect flight. I'll buy it. Confirmed. Flight to New York. Not New York. Cancel. Cancel. Ah!
Hi. I bought a car, but then I sold it a month later. Huh? Yeah, I bought a car, but then I sold it a month later. I didn't like it. I bought a car. Yeah, compré un coche. I bought a car. 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 But then I sold it a month later. Yeah, I didn't like it. So I sold it. Toldo. Un toldo. Sold it. Fijaos cómo la D de sold manda en estas dos palabras enlazadas. Sold it. Sold it. Soldado. Soldadura. Sold it. La D es dura. Yeah, I bought a car a month ago. But then I sold it a month later. Why? Because I didn't like it. I bought it and then sold it. I bought it and then sold it.
Hola, me llamo Iris Simancas y soy tu profesora de intermedio a partir de ahora. Entonces vamos a ver la frase de hoy. I bought a new car, but then I sold it a month later. Compré un coche nuevo, pero luego lo vendí un mes más tarde. Vale, vamos por partes. Vamos al primer punto. I bought. Compré o yo compré. I bought. Y aquí tenemos el verbo to buy, un verbo irregular. Por lo tanto es every day I buy, yesterday I bought. Ojo que no es bought o bought, sino bought. Fíjate, bought, bought. ¿Vale? Muy bien, entonces seguimos. Te voy a dar unos ejemplos. My mother bought a new closet. My brother bought a new computer. He also bought a new printer and he bought a new scanner. A student bought a new book from the store. Siempre se usa from, gone to buy. Muy bien, nos vemos en un minuto.
Well, I have great news. I have to tell you, I've just sold several of my paintings. Yeah. I told you before that my old art teacher, Pablo Pierre Pomporra, he came to my show, my art exposition, the other day, and he bought 3 of my paintings. He bought 3 of my paintings. Yeah, he bought a portrait, he bought a minimalist drawing, and he bought a piece of modern art as well. He bought 3 of my paintings. He bought. Every day I buy. Yesterday I bought. Hay que decirlo así. Bought. That's right. Now, it's fantastic, isn't it? I'm doing well. He bought one for 100 euros. He bought the second one, the minimalist piece, for 225 euros. And he bought the third one, the modern piece, for 175 euros. I'm working on my next masterpiece now. You know what I'm going to call it? I think I'm going to call it Bought.
Hi again. We're going to look at the second point, el segundo punto. I sold it, que es lo vendí. Y aquí tenemos otro verbo irregular, otro, to sell. Every day I sell, yesterday I sold. Sold. Asegúrate de marcar bien la D, sold, sold. Ahora, vamos a ver. Tiene luego it, así que enlazamos sold it, sold it. Lo vendí, sold it, como si fuera una palabra. Ahora te voy a dar algunos ejemplos. My father sold his motorbike. He sold it second-hand. I also sold some things second-hand. I sold some boots to a girl in Seville. Cuando mencionamos a quien le vendemos, decimos to. I sold to somebody, okay? So I sold it online. I stayed in and I sold it online. Y aquí tenemos la palabra del día, to stay in, quedarse en casa. Muy bien, pues entonces te voy a ver en un minuto.
Hi, welcome to the shop that sells everything you need when you need it. Today I'm so happy because yesterday I sold a lot of merchandise and I sold it all to one customer. That's right, I sold it all to one customer. To who? To April. I sold her so many things. I sold her 5 pairs of shoes, I sold her 2 pairs of trousers, and I sold her 3 dresses. That's right, I sold all those things to April. In the past, we say I sold. So say it with me. I sold her 5 pairs of shoes, I sold her 2 pairs of trousers, and I sold her 3 dresses. That's right, I sold her 3 dresses. I sold her a lot of things. And in fact, yesterday, I even sold my car. To who did I sell it to? I sold it to April, and for double the original price.
Hola otra vez. Vamos al tercer punto. A month later. Un mes después o un mes más tarde. Y aquí tenemos la palabra month. A month. Ojo que no es month. Suena fatal. No es month, es month. Con la boca abierta. Month. A month later. Repite conmigo. A month later. Muy bien. Vale. Entonces te voy a dar un ejemplo. She bought a new bike and then she sold it a month later. Ojo que no decimos 1 month later, un mes después, sino a month later, como a year later and a day later. Te doy más ejemplos. ¿Cómo se dice compré un libro por internet, pero lo devolví un mes más tarde? A ver. Muy bien. I bought a book online, but then I returned it a month later. Y cuidado que es later, no more late. ¿Vale? Later. A month later. Muy bien hecho por hoy. Y nos vemos en la siguiente clase.
Sí, pero lo has hecho un mes más tarde. A month later. Oh. I asked my boss, Mr. Pilgrim, to confirm my holidays. And he did. A month later. Yeah, un mes más tarde. A month later. Repeat it with me. A month later. Good. I asked him a long time ago. I just simply asked him, confirm my holidays so I can book my flight. And he's done it a month later. If that flight is too expensive, I won't be able to go on my holiday. A ver. It's too expensive. Now, I'm going to have to go on holiday a month later, or 2 months later, or 3 months later. And all because Mr. Pilgrim didn't confirm my holidays on time. Well, no. Me voy un mes más temprano. I'm going a month earlier. Ha! Mr. Pilgrim.
The speech was dreadful. Oh my God, the speech was dreadful. She just went on and on and on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. We might as well have stayed at home. What a waste of time. The speech was dreadful. Horrible. Mal. The speech. She just went on and on. Simplemente no paraba. Yeah, monotonía total durante una hora. She went on and on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. It was a waste of time. We might as well have stayed at home. We might as well have stayed at home. Why? Because the speech was dreadful, horrible, awful. The worst speech I've ever heard in my life. The worst speech I have ever heard in my life. It was dreadful. She, la pobre señora, she went on, bueno, pobre mío. She went on and on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. It would have been just as well. Hubiera estado tan bien quedarnos en casa. No hemos perdido nada. We didn't miss anything. It was dreadful. Hello. Listen, the speech was dreadful. She just went on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. The speech was dreadful. She went on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. Una vez más, lentito. The speech was dreadful. She just went on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. All right, the first part. The speech was dreadful. Dreadful, dreadful, horrible, awful. Bleh. Ugh. Horrible, awful, dreadful. Dreadful escrito. Dreadful. The speech was dreadful means it's impossible to be worse. The speech was dreadful. Very boring, tedious, dull. Yes, a waste of my time, a waste of everybody's time. Dreadful means terrible. The weather was dreadful. This class is dreadful. I hope not. The speech was dreadful. She just went on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. The speech was awful. It was dreadful.
Dreadful. Just dreadful. Oh, sorry. I was just looking at the figures for this month. I was looking at the sales figures, and they're just dreadful. They're absolutely dreadful. Dilo conmigo. The sales figures are dreadful. The sales figures are dreadful. This is terrible. I can't let the board of directors see just how dreadful the figures are. I mean, if they see how dreadful these figures are, they're going to insist that we make changes. And if we make changes, that will really be dreadful. No, we can't. They can't see this. It would be dreadful for everyone. It wouldn't just be dreadful for me. I mean, it would be dreadful for Margaret. It would be dreadful for Felicity. It would be dreadful for George. It would be dreadful for everybody. I mean, it would be absolutely dreadful. I can't let anybody see this. I'm not sure what to do, but I think I'll hide these figures, because if I let anybody see these figures, it would really be dreadful. I mean, it really would. I can't let anybody see these figures. It would be absolutely dreadful.
The speech was dreadful. She just went on and on. We might as well have stayed at home. The speech was dreadful. She just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Cuando algo es interminable, la persona goes on and on and on and on. The speech was dreadful. She just simplemente, el just aquí es simplemente iba hablando sin parar, bueno, hasta el fin de los días, to go on and on and on and on. The speech was dreadful. She went on and on. Se dice 2 veces en esta frase, pero lo puedes decir 40 veces si quieres. She went on and on and on and on. All right. I don't like speeches that never stop. Interminable. They go on. These speeches go on and on. And in this case, the speech went on and on and on. Word of the day. Casi se me olvida. To scream. Chillar, gritar a todo pulmón. To scream. Scream. Escrito scream. I scream. You scream. We all scream. For ice cream es como helado. Ice cream.
Hi guys, it's Felicity here. Thankfully, I've escaped one of Harriet's speeches. Oh, it just went on and on and on and on. Oh, it was terrible. Eso, decimos, it went on and on and on and on. Repeat with me. She went on and on and on and on and... Exactly. So, she was telling us about new procedures in the hotel. And she just went on and on and on. Let me tell you, it was not fun. Oh, she's still going on and on and on. I hate it when Harriet gives speeches, because every time she gives a speech, she just goes on and on and on. I never go on and on and on. No, Harriet does though. She's telling us about new procedures, new rules. Poor Margaret's still there listening. Oh, and Harriet's still going on and on and on. I said I had an appointment, so I had to go because I don't want to listen to it anymore.
Felicity!
Just coming, Harriet!
Hi. Okay, one more time. The speech was horrible. The speech was dreadful. She, la chica esta, she just went on and on and on and on and on. My God. We might as well have stayed at home. Que perder tiempo. It was pointless. We might as well have stayed at home. Hubiera sido mejor simplemente quedarnos en casa. Puede no perder total de tiempo. So, we might as well. Impossible expression to translate to Spanish. Might as well. Means it would have been just as good. Sería tan bueno, mejor incluso, no haber ido a este discurso. We might as well have stayed at home. We might as well. Siempre es con Resignación. Bah, we might as well. But it's too late. We might as well have stayed at home. Yes, because the speech was horrible. The speech was dreadful. Yes. The poor girl went on and on and on. What a waste of time. For me, for you, for everybody. We might as well have stayed at home. We might as well have stayed at home. We might as well. We might as well have stayed at home.
Hey, how's it going? Let me tell you about last night. The night was dreadful. She just went on and on. Might as well have stayed at home. I might as well have stayed at home. I'm not exaggerating. So come on, repeat it with me. I might as well have stayed at home. I took her out to dinner and she got food everywhere. She might as well have just eaten with her hands. And then there was such a mess afterwards. She might as well have just picked up the food and thrown it everywhere. And if that wasn't bad enough, later on, she started to get really hyperactive and make loads of noise. I might as well have been with my friends. What a disaster. And then, when I dropped her off at home, she didn't even say thank you. I might as well have stayed at home. I might as well have saved my money. I tell you what, that is the last time I'm taking my little sister out to dinner. Honestly. I mean, I might as well have gone on a date or something.